Hello, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have a very exciting haul. It is going to be from my experience at the Hermes private sale. If you missed my vlog video, I did do a little vlog about my experience driving out to the sale, going to the sale, but I will break down more of my experience in this video as well as end it with a little haul of all the goodies that I got from the sale. But before I get into all of that, be sure to take the time right now and subscribe. Also be sure to hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post. I post new videos every single week. And yeah, let's jump into the video. Alright, so giving a little breakdown of the sale. So this is an invite only sale. So I got my invite through an email from Hermes. I honestly have no idea why I got invited. I know some people with like way higher spend than me who didn't get invited to the sale. I was talking to people in line of the sale, and some people have been shopping at Hermes for 10 years. They've gone to multiple sales. Some people, this was also their first time. So honestly, I have no idea why I was invited, but I'm so happy that I was. Thank goodness. It was such a cool experience. So this was one of the first sales that they had on the West Coast. Typically they'll have sales, like I think they had a sale in New Jersey earlier this year, New York, but this one was in Las Vegas, which is actually about a 3.5-hour drive from where I live. So yes, your girl did jump right in the car and drive all the way out there. So when you sign up for the sale, you sign up for a day and a time slot. So you get this 2-hour window. Mine was from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., which was actually the first time slot of the day, which I feel like people recommend taking the first time slot of the day since that's when the sale is the most fresh. But I do hear that they kind of like restock throughout the sale, so it could kind of go either way. But there were some items where the people working there were telling me that this was literally the last of the item. So I definitely think it benefits to be a little bit earlier in the sale, but also not too early, because I'll get into that later. There is some kinks that I realized they worked out day one that I did not experience day two. So, you know, I think I found the perfect sweet spot of this sale. So I did go day two, first time slot, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and I was lined up at the door at around 8:15, and there was already a handful of people in front of me and a line growing behind. So quite a few people came pretty early on, and they did let us into the warehouse room 30 minutes early. So the line starts moving in. They walk you through coat check, so you check your bag. They don't let any purses in. Also, one of the rules was that you're not allowed to wear anything that is Hermes on you, so you don't like get confused if it's part of the sale or you just like came in wearing it. So no Hermes is allowed within the sale. And then they also do check your phone into this little bag that like locks it up, so you can't really take any pictures. You can kind of text a little bit, and I definitely did some math. I was definitely calculating up how much some of these items are going to be post the sale discount. So you could use it a little bit, but definitely no pictures, no videos. And that's kind of like how you got set up. You kind of just lined up, and then once it hit 9, they let you in. And the way the sale was set up, it was in this large warehouse. There was a bunch of employees there. I don't think any of them were actual Hermes sales associates. They were just kind of working the sale. And it started off with men's ready to wear. Then you kind of turned a corner and it went into some women's ready to wear. Then you moved forward even more and it went to men's shoes, and then you got to women's shoes. And that was where I definitely wanted to start out my shopping, because I had gone into the sale knowing I really wanted to get a pair of Oran sandals, I wanted to get a Twilly, and I wanted to get a scarf. So those were the three main items that I was really looking forward to in the sale. I knew shoes were probably going to be the most popular item, so I definitely wanted to like sprint there first, and I did. I went straight to the shoe section, and they had a lot of variety of Oran sandals, loafers, and sneakers. So those were kind of the main categories I saw in my sizing, and I am between a 34 and a 35. I was a bit disappointed they did not have any 34s or 34.5s. So I don't know if this was something that maybe day one they had more 34 or 34.5s, but unfortunately, zip. Zero, zilch. There was none, which again, it was a little bit of a bummer for me because I figured those ones wouldn't sell as fast, so I could have possibly gotten a better variety or options, but yes, unfortunately it didn't have any. Luckily though, 35 could still work. So all that to say, I got to the table and I was looking at all the Oran sandals. They had a lot of beautiful different colors. So they had this really pretty like mauve purple. They had this like yellowy color. They also had the leather black ones with like this spiky details, like punk rock Oran sandals. And then they had some that had more like mosaics on it. So there were some like higher price Oran sandals, and then there were a lot of just like the typical priced Oran sandals. For my budget, I really wanted to stick with the original Oran sandal styles. They also had the like fuzzy Oran slippers, and that was one of them where the sales guy working at the shoe section was like, this is our last pair if you want them. We have these like fuzzy orange Oran sandals. And I was like, I don't know, not really my style. I think they could be super cute and fun, but I was like, not for me. The quota for this sale was only one pair of Oran sandals or one pair of Oasis sandals, which are like the Orans but with a little bit of a heel. I didn't see too many options of Oasis sandals in the 35s, but I believe there was probably more in different sizes. I also looked at some of the loafers. Unfortunately, the loafer styles were just a little too big in the 35s. So my game plan, I had my pair of Oran sandals that I found and I really liked, threw those in the bag, and I knew I was only quoted one, but I was gonna hold on to the one that I liked the most, and then if I wanted to switch it out later, then I would. But I held on to the pair that I really liked, and then I moved on to the silk section, and they had a lot of the 90s scarves, which are the bigger style, as well as the 70s scarves, and I believe like the smaller like pocket squares. They also for men had like a bunch of ties, and then in the same room they also had twillies and then other scarves, just like regular scarf style. So that was kind of the scarf and silk room after the shoes, and I did get pretty successful in the silk room. Like I said, I'll show you guys my little haul after this. And then after the silk room, they put your silks into a little plastic bag and you put that in your like mesh shopping bag that they gave you that's like kind of see-through. So you put it in there. I will note this was a difference from day one. In a lot of like the videos I was seeing about day one, which you know me, like I was scrolling day one, like trying to catch up and see if I could find any morsel of a detail about the sale. What they did day one is they actually put your name on the bag and then brought the silks up to the registers, and it apparently was a horrific experience and it was not organized and was just like a total mess. But day two, that was not the case. They figured it out. They just gave you the silks, let you put it in a bag, and that was that. I think that was a huge improvement for day two. And then after the silk room, you went into some of the fashion jewelry and the home items, and then after that it was the line to check out. So I looked through some of the fashion jewelry. I wasn't like really into it. They had a couple bag charms, but again, not really into the ones that they had. I was looking for like a leather bracelet for my husband in black, and they had the bracelet that I liked, but it was in like a gray color and then in like a yellow or like a blue. So it wasn't exactly what he wanted, and I couldn't really get a hold of him or send him a picture because my phone was locked up. So I didn't end up getting him anything, which I feel bad about. I was totally intending to, but they just unfortunately didn't have the selection. And then I kind of like meandered over and checked out the home section, and there wasn't really anything there that I was dying to get. And also I felt like I'd rather maybe spend the money with my sales associate and just pay full price for some of those items and just keep that spend history and relationship, because some of the home items that I like aren't wildly expensive. Like I like some of the little dishes to put your rings and jewelry in, which is under $300. Those are also really reasonable. Anyways, so at that point I had kind of gotten my 3 items that I was searching for, but it had only been like maybe like 15-20 minutes of the sale. So I definitely wanted to get my full experience and go back to the other sections and kind of start recombing through everything. So I literally went all the way through the ready-to-wear section. I was looking to see if I could find any treasures. I tried on a couple items, but the fit was okay, and I would rather have spent the money on the shoes versus some of those items, so I kind of didn't end up getting anything from there. Although I will say all the ready-to-wear was 60% off, so if you are someone going in ready to drop 9 grand on a coat and you can get it for like 3 grand, that is incredible. Props to those people. It was not in my budget for this trip. Maybe on my next go around, if I get invited to another go around, I would definitely consider budgeting for a ready-to-wear piece like that. But for now, not in the cards. And then I also kind of combed through some of the men's ready-to-wear to see if I could find my husband something, but he had already said he really didn't want like anything from there. Felt like it was overpriced, but I was gonna see if I found any treasures or items that I knew he would absolutely love. I also checked out their hats and some of like the fashion belts, and there wasn't really anything there that really called to me and would make me want to put back one of the items that I had already picked up. So I was really proud of myself. Like, I stick hard to my budget. I'm a shopper, but I'm a budgeted shopper. I do pretty well, in my opinion. After that, I went to the checkout line. At that point, it was about 10:15. So I was about an hour and 15 minutes into my window of 9 to 11. And honestly, there was zero line to check out. And this was something day one. Apparently people were waiting hours in line to the point where they were missing their flights, just gave up and like dropped their items and were like, it's not worth paying for this. Like, I'm just gonna go home. Or like sat in line forever, got to the front and they were missing their silks. It was just apparently, through word of mouth, a horrible, horrible checkout experience day one. And day two, absolute breeze. Zero people in line, several registers open, some were taken. There were some people at certain registers. There was this whole like snaked line set up. Didn't even walk through it. The security guy kind of just like opened up the first one, was like, you don't need to walk through all this line. Just go straight in. I walked right up to a register, boom, checked out in like 2 minutes flat, and easy. Easy experience ever. Day two really turned it around. That's what I'm saying. Day one worked out the kinks and day two was so easy breezy. So if you're like planning the sale, maybe day one, if you really want to get potentially an item that might sell out very, very fast, could be worth it. But I felt like day two still had a really good selection and was a really great experience. The sale altogether did not feel crowded. I didn't feel like I was like fighting people for things. Total big open space. Nobody like was stressed. Like, it didn't have that anxious feeling to it. It was just kind of everybody was doing their thing. There was a lot of room and it was just a really good experience. So I really enjoyed the sale and I really enjoyed the items I got. So that being said, we are at the part of the video where I'm going to be doing a little unboxing of what I got. All right, so first item from the haul is the shoes that I got, and the shoes are probably like the nicest packaged item. Like, you actually got the box because, you know, I love the box. I like save all my Hermes boxes or like all my luxury boxes in general. So you know me, I love this stuff. But anyways, let's unbox. So like I said, I did get a pair of Oran sandals and here they are. They are absolutely gorgeous. They are this denim Oran style and these are so cool. Total cool girl shoe in my opinion, like having the denim sandal. I absolutely love. I think this actually would go well in a fall transition season. So I actually think I'm gonna get a lot of use out of these in like the next couple weeks, couple months. So I'm really excited about that. And let me show you the second one. It is nice you did also get the dust bag in here as well for both of the shoes. And it was actually kind of funny. I was sitting there with my like little bag of my denim Oran sandals in it. I was walking around in the shoe section and one of the girls who was also shopping, she was like, there were denim Oran sandals here yesterday and I don't see any today. And the guy working was like, oh, like what size are you? And she was like a 37 and he was like, oh, I'm sorry, like we don't have any more in that size or like the size up or down. And like I'm sitting here with them in a 35 in my bag and I was just like, I got them. Like, so excited that I found these. But that's why, like, strategy, I literally ran there first and also helpful that my feet are kind of small. So anyways, here they are together and yeah, these are just such a cool style shoe. I saw them and immediately was like, yes, absolutely. Super excited they had these. Like I said though, I was between these and the leather studded ones, but I'm really glad I went with these because these are still at the original price point and that was kind of the big thing for me. Of the other style was marked up more. So I don't know, I was really happy that this is like a cool stylized Oran sandal but still at the original price. And speaking of prices, these Oran sandals were 50% off, which was kind of crazy to me. I had done my own little research about the sales in the past, and the Oran sandals I had heard from my market research on the sales were only like 30 or 40% off. So to get these at a full 50% off, I felt like was an extra steal of a deal. So referring to the receipt, these ones were only $420. So yeah, really great deal in my opinion, and they're just so cute. I'm gonna get so much use out of them, and they're just so cool. So definitely one of the highlights from my shopping experience was snagging these sandals. And like I said, the 35, it fits, it works. 34 is like a little more snug, but honestly, like the 35s also fit fine. So yeah, really excited about these. Definitely a top tier pick from the sale. Okay, moving on to the silks that I picked up. The silks, like I said, just came in like a little plastic bag that they gave to you. So opening it up, we've got a little twilly. So this one is so stinking cute. It has all these like little dogs on it, and I was just so in love with that pattern. Like, look how cute these all are. So cute. Like, look at this little guy jumping. Absolutely love. I liked how it had the little like Hermes Paris at the bottom, and the color scheme of this one, or like colorway of it, is really pretty. It has a lot of pinks and oranges, and I also like how it has a little bit of black in it, because with my mini Evelyn, I think it works really well. I already have like another twilly, kind of similar vibes, but this one has a little bit of the black in it, so it'll still match really well. And then I also feel like these colors look cute with my Picotin, so I could also switch it up there. And yeah, definitely can get a lot of use out of this. Like, these are just really pretty colors, so really love that. And the twilly, let's see, where'd my receipt go? Okay. And the twilly was $125. So again, I think that's 50% off, and such a steal of a deal. The twillies and other silks were just like marked at a price point. They didn't have like a percentage. Like ready to wear said 60% off, footwear said 50% off, but the twillies and the silks were just like set at price points. So this was $125. And then the last item that I got is the 70 sized silk scarf. Here it is. I was between a couple different styles in this scarf, but I ended up going with this one because I really liked the light kind of pastel-y colors, like the blues and the pinks and the yellow. You can kind of see like a theme of colors that I like. I was between this and a more fall-toned scarf, but honestly, I feel like these were still nice year-round. Like, I could still get use out of them, especially with like a navy. Like, this would look really nice, or even with like a cream. So yeah, I felt like I could wear this more year-round, and the scene on this is kind of fun. It's like little futuristic horses and like people, and I don't know, it's the same on the front and the back. I'm not like super into the scenes on the scarves. I know some people are huge scarf buffs. I'm just kind of into the colors, so I went like looking at the colors that I like, and I decided to go with the 70 because I feel like the 90 was just a little bit too big for me to wear more often. I feel like the 70 just kind of fit more with my use, where I like to wear it around my neck. I've been trying to like kind of up my workwear style and wear some scarves like this to the office. Or if you want to have like fun with it, you can like put it in your hair or like wrap it around. Like, there's just a few more ways that I feel like you can wear the 70s scarf in a more subtle manner than the 90s scarf that's like a huge statement. I might go with the 90 eventually, but for now, we'll stick with the 70s scarf. And this one was $230. And the 90s scarves, I believe, were $310. So yeah, I went with the 70s scarf. And they did have a limit on twillies. I believe you could only get 10, and I don't know if they had a limit on scarves. But Anyways, that was my full little unboxing from the Hermes private sale. Let me know in the comments if you guys also went to the sale, if you're like me and like obsessed with the sale and watching a bunch of videos, learning about the sale. I thought it was so fun and such a great experience. I definitely want to be invited again in the future. And yeah, it was just so cool. I feel like I did a pretty good job as well, but let me know also in the comments what you guys think of my score of my haul, like if you thought I did a good job, or let me know what you guys would be looking out for in a sale at Hermes. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you enjoyed this style video, little Hermes talk and unboxing, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, give it a like, share it with your friends, and if you have not already, please don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate it. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one.